What I'm really aware of is that doing all sorts of horrible challenges, they're great to raise money, but in the grand scheme of things, what is any of this actually going to do to help change the way people, particularly men, look upon mental health? So that's what brings me to this video. I'm hoping this will be a good sort of explanation of me, my own personal mental health, and any experiences I've had that I've had to deal with, and essentially to lead by example in that if I'm raising all this money for charity and I can't even talk about the problems I've had and open up about my issues, then why would anyone else? So yeah, we're going to give it a go. In all honesty, the idea of being chucked in the sea to do a 4 mile swim, to go do an Ironman tomorrow, or anything worse, the idea of posting a video like this on social media terrifies me tenfold on any physical challenge you could throw at me, and that speaks absolute volume. What I'm absolutely not doing is trying to label myself with depression or label myself with anything, to be honest. All I can say is that I've been through points where I've been deeply, sort of incredibly unhappy and just not felt capable of actually speaking to anyone about it, be it friends, family, work colleagues, near enough anyone. The only way I can really describe it is like either imagine a champagne bottle or a Coke bottle, and someone's shaking it up, and there's just all this pressure welling up inside you, and literally you feel filled with it, and it's like you're desperate to cry. You are itching to cry because you know how much better it would make you feel just to let out all this sadness and just stress that you can just feel inside you, but it's just impossible to let it out. Like, you physically just can't. No matter what you do, you can't. There's just no way of just releasing it. When I was a bit younger, I drew a sort of OCD and a bit of anxiety surrounding training, when I was very set on a career in rugby. But following that, when I had a bit of a change of perspective on that front, I just found myself deeply lonely, feeling disconnected from people, and being at this point you're still surrounded by people day to day all the time, but you're just so lonely, like you just can't communicate in that sense. You just can't let people know that that's how you're feeling, and it's, looking back now, it's sickening. And this is something that I never actually resolved at the time by speaking to people. And in hindsight now, it's easy to say, yeah, you should have just said something to someone. You should have just let them know. They would have been able to help you. But at the time, you just can't. And given it time, you move on to another situation. Suddenly, you find yourself feeling better. You feel positive, and then once you've come out of that sort of that phase of how you felt mentally, you can just see how bad you actually were at the time. But when you're going through it, you just kind of accept it, I guess. Which is why so many young men actually take their own lives, because they just have this sense of this is just not going to end. That horribly dark sadness is just not going to go away. In hindsight, as I've said again, it's easy to look back and say, I was being soft, I was being a pussy for not talking. It takes a bloody big set of stones to be able to put your hand up and say, I'm vulnerable at the moment, I'm in a bad way, and that you need help. That takes more balls than anything, in my opinion. following me initially posting about my challenges and what I wanted to fundraise for, I was actually pretty overwhelmed by that messages I got from various people highlighting that they'd lost a family member, they'd had struggles themselves, that it was close to the family, all these, and this is like a volume of people, it's not just one or two, it's like a lot of people, and that's what makes me want to highlight this with the video now, because people are still isolated, people aren't aware that this is a recurring problem, that they'll be in work, potentially even in the same team, in a group of friends, and there's 2 or 3 people in the same group of friends, all feeling incapable of speaking to each other and all feeling isolated. Like, that is sickening. Like, what is happening to the world that we can't speak to each other and help each other? So yeah, this is all about being honest and opening up. Essentially, all else I wanted to say was, sort of, where do we go from here? And that's where I want to link it back to Calm. So Calm prevented 409 lives last year using the helpline. But that's not just 409 lives, that's 409 families, 409 sets of friends, 409 husbands, wives, children, it's just endless, the people that are affected by these things. £8 for one phone call, £8 to save one life is nothing. So yeah, let's try and ramp this up. Like, let's really, really take this to another level. 10 grand was the initial target, but I want to blow that out of the water. We're 4 weeks in and at nearly £3,000. So I would absolutely shoot the roof off this. So yeah, thank you for everyone that's donated already, and let's keep the ball rolling.